If you visit North African countries like Morocco or Algeria, you will find Berbers who seem like Europeans, having blonde to red hair, white complexion, and European facial features. Some believe that's because they might have European ancestry, who settled in North Africa, the same way the white population lives in South Africa and other African countries. However, the reality is surprising. The Berbers are indigenous Africans who have been living in North Africa for the past 5,000 years. But how is that possible? How is it possible that they are white yet indigenous to Africa? In this video, let's find out. The Berber peoples are inhabitants of North Africa whose history predates the arrival of Arabs in the Maghreb. Berbers primarily inhabit the Maghreb, with significant populations in Morocco, Algeria, Libya, and smaller communities in Tunisia, Mauritania, northern Mali, and Niger. Some also live in Egypt's Siwa Oasis and Burkina Faso. Their deep ancestral connection to the region stretches back to Stone Age tribes, who inhabited North Africa as early as 10,000 BCE. The Berber people were first documented in ancient Egyptian writings, where they were called the Libu. By 2000 BCE, Berber languages began spreading westward from the Nile Valley across the Sahara into the Maghreb. Over time, distinct groups like the Maori, Amazigh, and Garamantes emerged, laying the foundation for early Berber states such as Numidia and Mauritania. During the Roman era, leaders like King Massinissa of Numidia unified tribes into structured kingdoms, creating a legacy of early governance. However, the Arab conquests of the 7th and 8th centuries significantly disrupted Berbers' political independence. These invasions initiated a process of Arabization, marked by the spread of the Arabic language, culture, and Islam. The migration of Arab tribes to the Maghreb over subsequent centuries further transformed the region, reshaping its cultural landscape. However, despite the pressures of Arabization, the Berber tribes retained significant influence and played key roles in North Africa's history. During the medieval period, they established powerful dynasties, including the Zirids, Hammadids, Almoravids, and Almohads, which ruled vast territories across the Maghreb and Al-Andalus, modern Spain. Even after the decline of these dynasties in the 16th century, Berber communities in areas like Kabylia and the Atlas Mountains continued to resist foreign domination, preserving their language and cultural practices. Historically, Berbers identified themselves by their tribal or regional affiliations, such as the Kabyles, Shawi, and Rifians, rather than as a unified group. Therefore, the collective term Berber emerged after the Arab conquests and was later reinforced by French colonial administrators in the 19th century. Today, however, many view the term Berber as derogatory due to its association with the Arabic word for barbarian. Instead, they prefer Amazigh, a name that some interpret as meaning noble or free. However, the name's origin is varied. Some scholars trace its origins to Roman-era tribal names like Amazigh in Mauritania. Early Egyptian inscriptions from 1700 BCE mention the Barabara tribes, believed to be among the first references to Berber peoples. Medieval scholar Ibn Khaldun even attributed the Berbers' lineage to Barbar, a descendant of Noah's son Ham, blending historical accounts with myth. Furthermore, archaeological discoveries, including cave paintings in Algeria's Tassili Najer and Libya's Tadrart Akakis, reveal the Berbers' ancient roots. These artworks, some over 12,000 years old, depict thriving Neolithic societies engaged in domestication and agriculture. During the pre-Roman era, states like the Amazigh demonstrated early systems of governance, with King Massinissa later uniting Numidia into a formidable kingdom. Interestingly, Berber communities like the Kabyles maintained their independence during invasions by the Romans, Byzantines, and Arabs, safeguarding their heritage even in the face of immense external pressures. While centuries of Arabization reshaped much of North Africa, Berber culture persists, In Morocco, Algeria, and Libya, Berber traditions remain alive, especially in regions like Kabylia and the Atlas Mountains, where communities resisted assimilation. The Kabyles, for example, held control of their mountainous territories through successive invasions, preserving their language and customs. Now let's talk about their physical appearance. Interestingly, they reveal the rich diversity of their heritage and geographic distribution across North Africa. This diversity stems from their indigenous roots and centuries of interactions with other populations through migrations, conquests, and cultural exchanges. While many Berbers share features commonly associated with the Mediterranean region, such as olive-toned skin, dark hair, and brown eyes, there is a notable segment of the population, particularly in more isolated mountainous regions, that exhibits lighter features, including pale skin, blonde or red hair, and blue or green eyes. Most Berbers display characteristics typical of North African populations, including medium to dark skin tones, brown or black hair, and sharp, angular facial features, with high cheekbones and straight or slightly wavy hair. However, in regions like the Rif Mountains of Morocco and the Kabyle region of Algeria, lighter-skinned Berbers can be found. These individuals often have pale or fair skin, hair ranging from golden blonde to red, and striking blue or green eyes. Such physical traits are particularly prominent in areas where populations have remained relatively isolated from external influences, allowing these features to persist over generations. The presence of lighter features among some Berbers can be traced to ancient genetic influences and historical interactions with various populations. Genetic studies and historical records suggest connections to early European populations, such as Neolithic farmers and later migrations from southern Europe. Coastal and mountainous Berber communities, due to their geographic isolation, were less affected by external mixing than those living in more accessible areas, preserving these distinct physical traits. Blonde hair is a striking characteristic among certain Berber groups, particularly in northern Morocco and Algeria. It ranges from golden shades to ash tones. Red hair, though rarer, is also seen in specific communities and may be linked to genetic markers historically associated with European ancestry. However, it can never be told with certainty that Berbers have roots in Europe. It's because if it was true, a period of thousands of years would have evolved the Berbers. Not only that, but genetic studies would have found a similarity between the Berbers and European genes. However, the similarity between Berber and European genes is quite small. However, the genetic makeup of Berbers and other Black African tribes has greater similarity. But how is it possible that the Berbers are white and still African? Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. The presence of lighter skin, blue eyes, and blonde or red hair among some Berbers who are indigenous to North Africa is a fascinating result of historical, genetic, and environmental factors. While these traits might seem unusual for a population native to Africa, they are a reflection of the complex history of human migration, adaptation, and interaction that has shaped the Berber people over thousands of years. Berbers trace their origins back tens of thousands of years, making them one of the most ancient populations on the African continent. Evidence suggests they have inhabited the Maghreb region since at least 20,000 BCE to 10,000 BCE. Over millennia, their ancestors interacted with neighboring populations, including ancient European and Mediterranean groups. Genetic studies reveal that Berbers carry markers linked to both sub-Saharan African and European ancestry. Traits like lighter skin, hair, and eyes are believed to have been inherited from early Neolithic European farmers who migrated to North Africa and mingled with local populations. However, Berbers cannot be said to have European ancestry based on this historical migration. That's because if this is considered a criterion for deciding ancestry, then Europe itself was inhabited by humans that came from Africa between 45,000 BCE and 10,000 BCE. This suggests that when humans were migrating from Africa to inhabit Europe, Berbers already lived in North Africa, challenging the theory that they might have European ancestry. Furthermore, another theory suggests that during the prehistoric era, the Sahara was a fertile and hospitable region, serving as a bridge between North Africa and the Mediterranean. This environment facilitated exchanges between populations, introducing genetic variations such as lighter skin and hair. These traits likely became more visible in isolated Berber communities, where intermarriage with other groups was limited. Geographic isolation has been crucial in preserving these lighter features among certain Berber populations. In remote areas like the Rif Mountains in Morocco or the Kabyle region in Algeria, communities were less affected by the waves of migration and cultural changes that swept through more accessible parts of North Africa. This isolation helped maintain genetic traits like pale skin, blonde or red hair, and blue or green eyes, which became defining features of these groups. From an evolutionary perspective, lighter skin is often associated with regions that receive lower levels of ultraviolet radiation, as it aids in the production of vitamin D. While North Africa is known for its intense sunlight, certain coastal and mountainous areas where these Berbers live experience cooler climates with less direct UV exposure. Over time, these environmental factors may have played a role in preserving lighter skin tones in these populations. Today, the Berbers appear as a unique group of white people who wear African and Arab-inspired clothes and culture. For Berber women, clothing is as much about practicality as it is about artistic expression. The most iconic garment is the melfa, or kaftan, a flowing robe or wrap often layered and adorned with elaborate embroidery that reflects regional identity or social status. These garments are typically made from wool or cotton and dyed with natural pigments in bold colors like red, blue, orange, and green, making them both functional and strikingly beautiful. Similarly, Berber men wear djellabas, long hooded robes in neutral tones, and in colder climates, they wear the burnous, a heavy woolen cloak for warmth. Headgear also plays a significant role in Berber attire. Women's headscarves or wraps are often decorated with embroidery, beads, or coins, serving both as sun protection and as a canvas for artistic detail. Men, especially in desert regions, wear turbans or the cheche, a long fabric wrapped around the head and face to shield against sand and sun, while also offering a distinct aesthetic. Jewelry is central to Berber beauty culture, especially for women, who favor large, ornate silver pieces such as necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and anklets. These items are more than decorative. They carry cultural and symbolic meanings, often incorporating protective symbols like the hand of Fatima, Kamsa, or geometric patterns representing spirituality and nature. Berber women also wear amulets or pendants, which often feature symbolic designs or Quranic verses for protection and blessings. Old silver coins and colorful beads frequently appear in necklaces and headdresses, adding a historical dimension to their adornments. Historically, facial tattoos were a hallmark of beauty and tradition, featuring geometric motifs on the forehead, cheeks, chin, or around the eyes. These tattoos not only enhanced natural beauty, but also served as markers of tribal identity and spiritual protection. Henna is another staple of Berber beauty, used during celebrations like weddings and festivals to create designs on hands, feet, and even hair. These patterns symbolize joy, fertility, and good fortune. In Berber culture, beauty transcends mere aesthetics. It is a celebration of life, individuality, and cultural pride. Every element of their attire, adornment, and self-expression tells a story of their connection to their land, their people, and their history. From vibrant garments to symbolic tattoos and elaborate jewelry, Berber beauty is a living embodiment of their resilience, creativity, and heritage. Isn't it true that Africa is a land of all people, from black to white, who are indigenous to it? What do you think Europeans would think of the Berbers? Would they consider them Africans who they think are backward, or like them because they have similar appearance? In the comment section right below, share your thoughts about Berbers and whether you have met them. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.